Sonic spin-off games. When I skim through the past era within the Sonic franchise, I firmly believe that we've had some pretty solid titles, for the most part. However, this one particular spin-off game is something I want to pay homage to because it had become one of my major highlights during my childhood as time went on. And as you could tell from the thumbnail, yes, this discussion is going to be about Sonic Riders, the racing title that changed racing games as a whole. And before we get started with this video, please do hit that like, comment, and subscribe button, and don't you forget to hit that notification bell as well. It's really hard to believe that Sonic Riders is already 16 years old. Majority of you may be a bit confused as to why I decided to make a video like this, especially revealing my voice too soon, considering that my channel is based on making animations and episodes of my very own in regards to the Blue Blur himself. But I feel that now is the most appropriate time to speak on this, especially since there's been other discussion videos in regards to this spin-off series. That said, today's discussion is going to be about the Rider series and how it made a major impact compared to the other racing games such as Crash Team Racing and of course Mario Kart. So where do I even begin? First off, I'll be covering the first game, Zero Gravity, and Free Riders to end it off. So the reason I mentioned Crash Team Racing and Mario Kart is because they're both the most popular racing titles. I'm sure we can all agree to that. But going back in the early 2000s, around the time when I was born, Mario Kart already had the crown when it came to racing games. And I know some of you are probably asking, well, Rufix, why are you saying this? This video isn't about Mario Kart. My reason is simply this. Between 2001, which the year I was born, to now at the time of the recording of this video, Mario has had over 10 sequels. And that's just from that time period. Then, if you look at Sonic's racing titles from 2001 up until now, you can clearly see that they didn't really age well. Now, you've had games like Sonic Rivals, Sonic Drift, and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, but what people aren't realizing is that Sonic Riders' formula was not only the perfect spin-off, but the most unique as well, fundamentally to say the least. And I'm really tired of hearing that Sonic Free Riders quote-unquote killed the series, because it really didn't. But I'm gonna get to that later in the video. So what is Sonic Riders and how exactly did it stand out from other racing games? The Sonic Riders series introduced the stylish extreme racing sport revolving around extreme gear and competition with Sonic's new rivals, the Babylon Rogues. Although the story is not the main priority of this video, I will briefly discuss how the story pertains to the game itself and what you're supposed to do. So pretty much, Dr. Eggman challenges Sonic and his friends to a worldwide Grand Prix, and the prize for coming out on top is a Chaos Emerald. So, you know, with Sonic being who he is, despite Eggman's spiteful motives, he's gonna have fun by all means necessary. So, his friends tag along and they meet some newcomers later on in the game. These three new characters are Jet the Hawk, Wave the Swallow, and Storm the Albatross. And one thing I would like to say is how well introduced this trio is. From what I remember, we haven't been introduced to a team since Sonic Heroes. So back when this game originally came out, I was absolutely excited to see how these characters would interact towards Sonic and his friends. Jet, being the leader of the Babylon Rogues, challenged Sonic throughout the story to see if he was really the fastest, even on extreme gear. This is hoverboards we talking about, people. So in the midst of it all, one of his team members, Wave, sabotages Sonic throughout the races, and then Storm and Knuckles had their beef as well. Sonic then loses to Jet unfairly in Sand Ruins, gets his board remade by Tails, then beats Jet in Babylon Garden. Fast forward to the end, what Eggman was really seeking for was the treasures from Babylon Garden. This of course caused repercussions that everyone had to endure. So, the Babylon Guardian awakens and is angry, so you have to defeat him. After he's defeated, Eggman then finally gets his hands on the treasure and then is totally blown away that what he opened only had a magic carpet inside it. So the hero story ends when Amy is chasing Sonic and bopping him on the head with her hammer, of course, and the Babylon story is an extended version of the hero story with what I just explained earlier. Overall, the story was pretty solid. For a game to come out in 2006, the animation, story, and gameplay during that time was stellar. And of course I played it in recent years to see if it still lived up to how it performed, and although everything wasn't perfect, it was perfect for me. The innovation and uniqueness is what turned me on to racing games as a whole. Who would imagine racing through tracks with a hoverboard? I definitely enjoyed the extra content the Riders trilogy offered when completing story mode, such as completing missions and earning the highest rank possible to unlock characters and other things. And of course, I can't forget about the versus and battle mode. Although you can't play online, you could just only play locally with your friends. Now, moving on to Zero Gravity. I won't be getting into the story too much as I stated earlier, but I do like the direction the writers are taking with the Babylon Rogue's ancestry and past history. It definitely deepens the lore and character development to Jet's team as well as himself, which is always good. Now, gameplay wise, I didn't really like it as much as the original, personally. Reason being is because when you perform tricks in Zero Gravity, everything seems automated and you have to time your jumps in order to get the highest trick rank. Having to perform my own tricks at free will is what increased my skills and is something that I truly miss. And having that being absent in Gravity kinda makes the game a slight downgrade. Now, hear me out. Others might think that this mechanic is better than the mechanic in the first game. And I'm not saying that since this is a new mechanic that the game is bad. It's just a mechanic that I'm not used to. Like, for example, the gravity dash is an implement that I liked, and the gear change feature is something that I enjoy too. In this game, the character roster is slightly bigger, with Silver and Blaze joining the cast as well as more featured Sega characters. There's not much else to really say about this game. I remember when I first bought it, I had got a pre-owned version from GameStop and didn't realize I could use a GameCube controller years later. Don't judge me, I was like 12 years old at the time. But to sum it up, Zero Gravity wasn't a bad game, it just wasn't enjoyable as the first one. Now, listen carefully as I transition to Free Riders. Let me remind you, this is my opinion. You are free to state how you feel about the game, but just know, at the end of the day, this is opinion based and how I feel about the game personally. That said, grab your popcorn because this is something that needs to be said. Sonic Free Riders would've, I repeat, would've been a great comeback if it wasn't released exclusively on the Xbox Kinect. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. I bought an Xbox 360 and the Kinect only to play Sonic Free Riders. I know some of you might find that hard to believe, but being the Sonic fan that I am even today, I went out my way to purchase this title and play it on the Kinect. The experience? It wasn't bad. It really wasn't. I had the Kinect position on my dresser in front of the TV, and after a while I got used to the gameplay. And you know, I've watched many Free Riders reviews on YouTube, and I've come to the conclusion that yes, this game was horrible, only because of the gameplay. Let's just say that the Kinect didn't exist, and if the game came out on the PS4, Xbox One, and the Wii U, because around the time that it came out, it was 2010. So this game would have gotten better reviews from people like IGN as well as us Sonic fans. I'm sure we can all agree to that. Fundamentally, I got used to the game after like 5 attempts after the tutorial. I can understand that using your body as a controller could be tiring and could cause body aches. But remember when I mentioned Crash Team Racing in the beginning of the video? Not too long ago, they had a remake of the game, and for what it was, the game sold well, and there was even more content than the previous game. So with that said, it's Sonic's 30th anniversary. Sonic Frontiers comes out in about 9 to 10 months, and when you really think about it, what next spin-off game is Sega going to make? They can't release another All-Stars Racing game because their previous game sold like crap. So what's gonna stir up the fans again? Another Riders game. And listen, I know that Free Riders tainted the spin-off series, but my thing is this: how has Jet and Wave made cameos and appearances in other spin-offs like Mario and Sonic at the 2014 Olympic Games and the 2020 Olympic Games? And not to get off topic, but one of the dream events in the 2020 game was Riders Inspired. So how is it that we can't get a Riders game within the next year or so? It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Like, there's no way that I'm the only one saying what I'm saying right now. With everything that I've covered, Riders is something Sega has to bring back. I'm sure they can reach out to the director, publisher, and writer for the game to see if they can agree to budget for this next title, because it's truly been long overdue. And since it's the 30th anniversary already, this is honestly the perfect time to release another game, maybe a couple of months or maybe a year after Frontiers. Fans would go ballistic, such as myself, if we receive another Riders announcement. It's always been my dream to have another fully developed sequel. Like I said before, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. My mentality is, if Crash Team Racing can make a grand return after 2 decades, why can't Sonic Riders make the same comeback? It's like Sega and Sonic Team had the perfect racing formula in their hands, and somehow or another they just dropped the ball completely when Free Riders released. And to be fair, I mean, All Stars Racing, Racing Transformed, and Team Sonic Racing all had somewhat of a unique style, but it just didn't stand out like how Riders did. And you know what? You guys don't even have to take my word for it. If you research right now the sales performance with Riders compared to All Stars Racing, it will show clear as day that Riders overall performed and sold better. So once again, Sega and Sonic Team, listen to your fans and listen to them carefully. Do not ruin this, because now is the perfect opportunity to release a brand new sequel. And I'm sure we can all agree that 13 entire years is long overdue, and I'm already 20 years old. But I want to know what you guys think of Sonic Riders. Did you enjoy the trilogy? Or do you think that Sega and All Stars Racing was a better developed title? If you stayed on this video up to this point, your support is much appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like, comment, and sub button. And until next time, my brothers and sisters, have a good one.